Down to Watch strives to be a unique podcast dedicated to movies, TV, and music with a soft spot for cult classics. Join your hosts K and D for fun, games, and the occasional pop culture chatter. This is Down to Watch. Hello, and welcome to episode 11 of Down to Watch, where we talk about cult classic TV, movies, and music, and all other stuff. I want to remind everyone to please subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at DTW Podcast and like us on Facebook at Down to Watch Podcast. I am your host, Kay, and usually I'm joined by D, but D has stuff to do again, and so I have pulled in my friend Roy.
Ooh.
Hello, Roy. Say hello to the people.
Hello, people.
I am super excited to have Roy here today because he's a bigger nerd than I am when it comes to a lot of things, and he's just fun.
Oh my God, I am.
You're super fun to talk to, and
because he never stops talking.
And I love the snark level.
Oh man, yeah, off the charts.
So we're gonna get into some stuff. Let's start with nerdy news.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, this just came out today, I think, or overnight. Jared Leto's picture.
Yes, I saw that.
And people, of course, nerds are the biggest whiners.
So what is the problem with it? I mean,
it's all tattooed, and now the one thing I do kind of not love is he has a grill on his teeth.
Yeah, that was weird.
I don't like that in general, but I mean, who knows? It might work for. I haven't seen the movie yet, so
right. Yeah. How about we just give it a chance? Mm-hmm. How about we see it in action, and maybe it's totally perfect for it. Now, I'm not familiar with Suicide Squad at all. Mm-hmm. So, what is?
It's essentially it's like a government-run team where they take mostly villains. I know there's been some heroes. They're all villains that have exactly, and they've all been like incarcerated, and I think they get like a chip installed that it's like either you do what we tell you to or we blow you to pieces. And a lot of times it's
perfect.
Pretty serious missions that like you probably won't come back alive from them. And so there's been a lot of, I know there's been Harley's been on it. I think she's in it now. I don't know. I'm not following it right now.
This isn't where they meet Harley and Joker.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so it would be cool to see Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
right? And
finally in a movie.
Yeah, because everybody seems to be pretty like she's like all up on there with like the girls love her just as much as like Wonder Woman or Batgirl or whatever. Yeah, you can't
go into Hot Topic without bumping into a Harley Quinn item.
I know. Is she the only like female villain that they have that's like been popularized?
That's as big as her?
Yeah.
Well, there's Catwoman, but I don't think she's nearly as big.
Yeah, it's plus I don't. Well, I guess she is a villain.
Yeah,
like, straight up.
Catwoman kind of switches back and forth.
Yeah.
But Harley, I think it's the creepy clown kind of thing that really works for her.
I like it. Like I think it's fun.
Her whole outfit.
And I don't really know much of a backstory about her at all, and I would jump on the bandwagon.
She's just fun. It's when she's got like a giant. I love when she has her giant mallet. They have she and the Joker have pet hyenas. Like, how much more fun?
That's amazing.
Yeah, Well, there was a rumor that the hyenas are going to be in the Suicide Squad movie, which would be fantastic.
I'm stoked to see what Jared Leto does with this Joker because I know it's going to be vastly different and it's not like a continuance, and I'm really having a hard time wrapping my brain around the comic book universe and movies anyway, just because there's so many things intertwined. There's reboots, there's continuances, and I don't even I try to just think of each one as their own separate entity now. It's like, okay, I can't anymore.
Yeah, and it's tough when you look at how many what was it, Monday that all those trailers came out. The new Fantastic Four trailer came out, the Batman vs Superman trailer came out, Jurassic World trailer came out, and then Star Wars was like last Friday or something.
I'm surprised they didn't wait until May 4th to put the Star Wars one out.
Right, that would have been perfect.
Marketing.
Yeah, well, we're getting one on Friday with Avengers.
Yes.
It's tough with the confusion with Marvel, with Fox owning, what is it, X-Men and
Oh,
Fantastic
really?
Four, the film rights only, as far as I know. And then Sony has Spider-Man, and then Disney and Marvel have the rest. I think I was just reading the other day that there's a couple more characters that fall under someone else's jurisdiction.
Really?
Oh darn! I was just reading this the other day and I can't remember. It was like Namor from Atlantis. He's like sort of like the Marvel's version of Aquaman.
Speaking of Aquaman and Jason
Mm-hmm.
Momoa, where does is that Marvel?
That is DC.
And he's his own movie,
Yeah. Well,
or is this
he's
part
gonna
of
be in
the Batman Superman
he's
thing?
supposed to be in Batman vs Superman,
Okay.
along with Wonder Woman. I think they said, I can't remember if they said Flash was going to be in it too. And I know Cyborg is going to be in it, but I don't think he's going to be Cyborg yet.
So there's actually going to be Wonder Woman in this one?
That's what they're saying.
Because there's like back and forth, and I just keep hearing about, we're going to make her own movie, and then we're not. And
Who knows? I feel like they announced she's going to get her own, but
I need a chart.
That kind of stuff always changes. And there was actually someone did an infographic of the movies, like the superhero movies for like the next 20 years.
Oh, really?
Because Marvel recently
For the next 20 years?
For the next 20 years. Because Marvel has movies on the calendar like up into like 2020 something maybe.
I'm going to be 59 years old.
I know. I'm going to be really old
over.
watching all those movies. Like, I remember when Black Panther first came out. Oh. But, I mean, on the plus side, at least there is an African, not even African-American, African superhero who has, it's 10 years off or so, but it's there. Like,
right, finally.
Fingers crossed that he's a popular character, so I can't imagine that they'd say never mind.
No, I couldn't imagine that. And so, and also on the plus side, we have the next 20 summers planned out. So we're good. We're solid.
Yeah, I know I will at least get to the movie theater once a year in the next 20.
So speaking of Avengers is coming out next week.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go see it. And Roy and I are stepping outside of our comfort zones and going to an opening night movie, a Friday night, an 8:30 p.m. movie. Yeah. I'm going to have a lot of coffee that day. Well, I've taken the day off of work, so I'll be fully, prepared, hopefully, prepared, caffeinated, ready to rock and roll, because that's going to be my big to-do. It's awesome. Kahmeela's big day out. Look at me. I'm out here in the movie theaters with all the other kids.
Well, I'm going to have to get some sort of like chocolate or something that's going to keep me from killing people, because I can't remember the last time. I think the last time I saw a movie that was like full of people, I saw Frozen the weekend it opened, and I went. It was me and my parents and my 70-some-year-old aunt, who she loves computer animated stuff. She's like, it's so pretty. So we're walking in, and I'm seeing all these kids with their parents, and I said to my aunt, I said, nothing ruins a kid's movie like a bunch of kids.
Oh, yeah. Couldn't even tell you the last time I went to see a kid's movie in the theater. I refuse.
It actually wasn't too bad, because usually you get kids that are like just like talking to the movie or talking to mom and dad, and it's like, can you shut up? Like,
shut your kid. Control your kid.
Yeah, take him outside.
I have a problem just like movie theaters. I love the experience, but to an extent.
Yeah, can we just leave everyone else?
Yeah, exactly.
outside?
Can I just do it on my own? Can I just watch by myself?
That was like the blessing of the dollar theater.
Oh my God, I miss the dollar theater so much.
Mm-hmm. You would wait until everyone and their mother had seen it
exactly.
at least twice, and then you go and you're the only person there.
Exactly. And another, there was a point in my life where I had just graduated from college, and I didn't have a job at that point. And so my days were free, so I would go to the movies by myself in the middle of the day. That was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That was so good. Oh, my God. You don't have to deal with people talking and questions and chewing loud and smells.
Every time I go to the movie theater, somebody drops Skittles or M&Ms or some such kind of thing. Not just a few. The whole bag is gone. Maybe, and then you hear it roll down the floor.
Maybe it's like a universal game now, so whenever anybody sees Roy at a movie theater, they just drop their Skittles.
Drop your Skittles. That sounds like code for something.
Drop your Skittles, kids. Yeah. What else? There's some other May movies that are coming out that I'm super... Oh, wait. Avengers. I wanted to go back to RDJ. walking out in his interview.
Mm-hmm.
I finally watched that the other day, and I thought that was great. Like he wasn't rude. He was still polite about it, but you could like see.
Yeah, he was PO'd.
How in his breathing started to get real heavy.
Could see him,
I was like,
breathing
oh my
really
God,
fast,
he's going to lose it. He's going to snap
kill this
out.
guy. Yeah.
And he kept going.
Mm-hmm.
And he had very valid points. Like there was no reason for him. Like he's doing his press junket. He's probably had like 100 interviews.
Probably been there all day.
Right, 100 interviews. Like each one, like they have 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So get in there and you talk about your movie and that's it. And this guy wants to bring up stuff from like.
Yeah, this isn't Barbara Walters' special here.
Right.
Buddy.
Like I don't know what he was trying to prove. Is he trying to be like, oh, I'm going to be
I'm gonna get like an edgy, like everything you're asking, he's probably already answered at some point.
Yeah, go pull. You know what? I've probably got the magazine in which he's answered that already because I've been moving and I've gone through all this stuff and I have like you would think I was Robert Downey Jr.'s mom with all the magazines that I have of him.
Send it to him. Just
I will
scan it and send it to him.
Yes, exactly.
But be really snarky about it because
maybe you missed this.
Yeah.
And also, there was some other contra with that. So I guess I didn't watch the video, but Jeremy Renner and Chris Evans, they got into some trouble.
Boy, yeah. I was just explaining this last night to someone. I watched the clip, and this woman was asking them about, I'm sure you've heard about people on the internet shipping characters, like creating fictional relationships. And she's talking about, I guess fans are matching up Black Widow with Hawkeye, with Captain America, with Hulk. And then she said, and sometimes with all three of you at the same time. Because as we know, internet fan fiction gets
over the top, man. Sometimes there's slash involved.
Yeah.
And
well, they were commenting on that, and Renner said... One of them said, yeah, she's a slut, and one of them echoed that by saying, yeah, she's a total whore. Now, that was about the character.
Mm-hmm.
And also in reference to...
the fanfic.
Yeah, to this fan fiction. Not
Scarlett Johansson. Right. Or even the actual character.
Or even Black Widow.
Yeah.
Now, and we had talked about this before, I didn't read a whole lot of Avengers, but... I'm familiar with the characters. And Widow, from what I remember, has been in relationships, whether proper relationships or one-night deals, with like most of the men that have carried an Avengers card. So, yes, you could probably use that term but it seems like maybe we just shouldn't be using those terms at all.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, I think it was...
Stop shaming people for what they're doing.
I think it was poor choice of words on their part. And yes, I know that they were joking, but it's just... Those are definitely trigger words. And everybody, you throw those around.
Pay attention to context.
No, not at all. I mean, sure, if they were just joking about... And once again, they'd been doing their press junket all day. And they were probably loopy at that point and thought that they had a little, leeway to just kind of like...
be fun and be dudes and...
Yeah.
I think sometimes we don't pay much attention to intent as well as context. Like, did they mean to be like, if they were saying it to be like, oh, Scarlett Johansson, she's a total slut, I hate working with her, blah, blah, blah. That's not...
No.
You were asking about a ridiculous internet relationship.
Exactly.
Quote unquote. And they were making a joke about that. Like, sometimes I feel we need to just
not be so outraged by everything.
Take a breath. Like, I am so tired of the outrage.
Oh my God.
Everything.
I've heard this term before. It's like when you think about how you're going to react to something, or if you're going to get into an argument or a fight about something, is this the hill you want to die on? So it's just like
I like that.
So that's a lot of times that's what I kind of take in my everyday life. It's like, is this the hill I want to die on?
I found myself doing that on Facebook, where I'll be like, oh, I really need to. No. You know what? No, I really don't. Like, no. I don't need to say anything.
That's another. I hate the terms. I got into an argument on Facebook. I'm in a Facebook fight or social media.
Well, that was your first problem.
Exactly. I feel like a jerk just even saying it. It's like, oh, you know what? Never mind. It wasn't important at all.
It's probably an argument with someone you don't even know.
Exactly.
Which is
and and it's I'm all for, I can argue with some, if we want to talk about something, want to argue about something, let's do it face to face. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And it's not in like, threatening way.
Yeah.
take off my
Let's
earrings
just-
and we're gonna box it out, and we can talk about it in the back alley.
Let's just talk like normal people.
Right.
Because I think one of the problems with the whole arguing on social media is you can pretend that's not a person on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
You can just say these things that you normally wouldn't. Like, that's what I look at this and I think, who would say something like that?
Right.
And they didn't say something like that. They typed it,
Right.
which I guess makes
Keyboard
you feel,
thugs.
Yeah. It's horrible. But
So-
they did apologize. They
Dude,
apologized for the slut and whore
Well,
comments.
I'm sure they would. Like,
Yeah.
they're part of
Yeah,
a
of course they would.
multi-billion-dollar franchise right now, and they're like, fine, whatever. Yeah, I mean, obviously we didn't mean anything by it, but
Disney said or else.
yeah, because Captain America could die.
Mhm.
We can make that happen.
Yeah.
So the other movies that are coming out in May, there's only like 2 that I'm super stoked about that I found on the list. Mad Max, Fury Road.
Oh,
Now, I've
yeah.
never really been into Mad Max at all.
No.
Number one reason why? Tom Hardy. I would watch Tom Hardy do just about anything.
Yeah.
And I don't even care. I don't
Yeah.
care what the premise is of this movie.
I
I feel like I should probably go back and watch the original
Yeah.
one. I know I've seen it in passing, like
yeah,
on
I've caught parts of it on
TNT or
TV.
something like that, but
And I remember it was just on like a month ago because I walked in the room and someone had it on, and I'm looking at it and I was like, "What is this?" They said, "Oh, Mad Max or something." I'm like, "Isn't that a new movie?" And then I see the trailer, and then I recall the footage I had seen, and I thought, "Those don't look anything."
so you weren't aware
no.
really before of that movie?
No.
I don't even remember when it came out. It had to. No, it's the 80s at some point.
Yeah.
But
But like, of course, the new one's all like future-y
Yeah.
looking, and the old one didn't seem that way.
I don't know. I recall it looking similar,
Really?
like the style of what
Mhm.
they're doing, but
Maybe this was a
it's-
different Mad Max. It
Maybe.
was about a guy named Max who's very unhappy.
it's just Max. He's angry.
Yeah, this is just Angry Max.
Angry
it's like
Max.
based on the child's
Furious
book or
Max.
something. Yeah. Mildly perturbed Max.
He doesn't get as much done, but he does it a little bit snarky.
Yeah.
Like,
I walk in and
he's
some
really
kid-
passive aggressive
Yeah.
about it.
This kid gets hit by a motorcycle or something. I'm like, what is this? And they're like, oh, it's Mad Max. I'm like, well, yeah, if he got hit by a motorcycle.
The other thing, Poltergeist.
Oh, God. I can't even watch the trailer alone.
It looks really scary.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think the original one is like one of the first scary movies I ever saw, and I snuck and saw it like on
Ooh.
HBO or something. My cousins we were having a sleepover or something, and mom was asleep, and we're like, oh,
Let's watch this
yeah. And I remember being horrified
Mhm.
and couldn't say anything about it.
I can't tell you the last time. I know I've seen it all the way through it more than once, but it's been so long. And I don't know if I was all that scared of it. I feel like I need something a little more in your face, at least as a kid.
Really?
I probably didn't get it. I was probably just kind of like, why is she playing in the TV?
I used to get
Yeah.
scared from I don't know if you remember this Phil Collins video, and he had like the puppets. Yeah, and that was the world of confusion, land of confusion. Those things were creepy as hell. Like, those were awful.
That's funny you should mention that because my friends and I like to watch like crappy B movies, and sometimes you get some of those like Hobgoblin or like stuff like that where they have little monsters and they're just like crappy hand puppets. But sometimes when they're really bad, like it's unsettling. Like it makes me really anxious and scared. Like, oh my God, I know it's bad and I know it's obvious it's a hand puppet, but it's like it's like the disjointed, like, oh God, like, ooh,
It makes your skin crawl a little bit.
It's just
Yeah.
really unsettling.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
Creepy puppets. I think that's why Dark Crystal and what's that other one?
Labyrinth?
Labyrinth. I've never seen Dark Crystal.
Me either.
But I've seen Labyrinth, and I probably because I didn't watch it as a kid, so I don't have that nostalgia
Right.
aspect. But there's even when I see like clips of it or whatever, I just it's the puppets. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Jim Henson,
Right.
And that's probably a testament to
Yeah.
his work.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm
But
pretty sure they were created to
ugh.
make that specific feeling
Yeah,
for you, and it worked.
they did very well because
The-
I still won't sit down. And
Yeah,
watch it.
no, that's the main
course.
reason why I've never seen Dark Crystal,
Yeah.
and I was an adult when I saw Labyrinth,
Mhm.
and I still just like,
I think Bowie gets a lot of credit too.
yeah. And there's also that The Hobbit animated Hobbit, or
What
not
was
Hobbit,
with that
or
animation?
or yeah, there was with the Gollum and
Yeah.
that. I remember like seeing that. I was probably like in fourth grade,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like on Showtime or something, and I started to cry. It was just it was horrible.
There's some of that old animation, like not Disney's animation, but like everyone else's.
Yeah.
They were trying to be like realer.
Yeah, like they didn't have like the bright colors
Yeah,
like
they were trying
Disney.
to go real dark and natural, and it was again unsettling.
I didn't enjoy it. Okay, so all right. So in conjunction with our topic for today, I found a couple things. There's going to be a Gremlins reboot.
Yeah, trust me, I already know that.
How long have you known this? I found out yesterday.
I have been following that news for quite some time, as anyone that knows me will tell you, because I have a confession to make to all of you listeners.
Oh, dear.
I'm 27 years old, and I'm frightened of Gremlins. Yeah. They are...
Like...
Yeah. Not Gizmo.
Not the cars.
No.
But
No, not the cars. And not the furry little pre-gremlin.
The Mogwai.
Yeah. It's those green, awful things. They're still besides the velociraptors in Jurassic Park, they're the only movie monsters to give me nightmares.
So were you just following this reboot story just so you know to be prepared?
To be prepared. Now, the funny part is I'll be like first in line for tickets.
Seriously?
Yeah. Because I think part of it is like I'm hoping to like shake it.
Okay.
Like, people will ask me all the time. It's like on TV, and I'll be watching it, and someone will walk by like, "Why are you watching that?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, because it's on," and I'm hoping I'll grow out of this. Like,
so for those of you who don't know the news that the Gremlins is going to be a reboot, Chris Columbus is involved. He says it's definitely not a remake. It's going in a completely different direction. So I don't know what the hell could be, because
don't feed them after 2 p.m.
Oh, there's okay, so that's totally different.
No,
no, it makes sense, because sometimes you gotta like pull things through, and I guess there might be like there's no date for it. They haven't started filming anything. I don't even think there's a solid script yet, but Zach Galligan and Phoebe Cates, they may make cameos, and there's this full-on news story about this on MTV's website, so you can go check that out for yourselves. I'm not going to sit here and read this to you. But the other thing I found was 21 things you might not know about Gremlins. The movie, not the
I read that
not
list.
The beasts. The one thing I found pretty weird was the number 2, Gremlins could have been a whole lot darker.
Oh my god. I've probably told everyone I know this, because when people say, "Oh, that movie was so cute," I immediately get all, "Let me tell you what they originally wanted to do." If you recall, they tie his dog up in the Christmas lights. Well,
right.
Originally, they wanted the Gremlins, the little Mogwais, to eat the dog. And I think that was what was going to turn them, they would eat him after midnight. And that's what was going to turn them. Yeah, how upsetting is that? That cute dog. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then
that's horrible.
Also the scene where his mom is like taking him out one by one. Originally, she lost that fight. And when whatever his name is, what's his name? Billy, when he comes home, they toss her head down the stairs.
Oh my god.
Like this was all in the original script or screenplay. And I think also I think the original thing was that instead of Stripe, Gizmo was going to be
the leader.
He was going to be a gremlin. He was going to turn. Yeah. But they decided to make him a little
hero.
The little hero. And
that is crazy. Cute. I feel like, and what they ended up with, it was just like toting the line of darkness.
Well, yeah, they marketed it as a kids movie from what I recall, and then people took their kids, and I mean, there are parts that are definitely funny, but they are violent and mean, and just looking at them, I mean, again, the puppets are really well done.
Yeah.
But they are scary.
Okay, so you guys can go check out this list on mentalfloss.com, and that's 21 things you might not know about Gremlins, and there's a whole bunch of crazy stuff on there. So, in case you haven't guessed, our show today is about Gremlins, the movie. And Gremlins was made in 1984, and surprisingly enough, after this viewing, it's PG. It was directed by Joe Dante and written by Chris Columbus and produced by Steven Spielberg, starring Zach Galligan, Phoebe Cates, Corey Feldman, Judge Reinhold. And he's not really starring, but he's in there. I thought he was of note.
Yeah.
And also of note, Glenn Thurman, who I think is an awesome actor, and I was very surprised to see him there. So how this goes, Roy, is we're going to talk about our personal histories, if any, with this movie, and I can't wait to get into yours.
Yeah.
Mine is very short, so I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. I think I was 8 when this movie came out. Either I saw it in the movie theater, or I saw it on Showtime shortly thereafter or something like that. Never saw it since. And so last night I watched this movie and I was... I have so many feelings about it. And your history, which is why, because you told me, you've been teasing me with this history about it, and you've already said that how frightened you were. Let's get into it.
Okay. Well, I wasn't even born when this movie came out. Sorry about that. I was born in 87.
That's it. Shut it down.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Mike, unplugged. I do recall that I don't even remember when I saw it, to be perfectly honest. I'm sure, obviously I did not see it in the movie theaters.
Right.
I must have seen it on video or on TV or something. But I do remember my dad worked at, I don't know if it was Hardee's or Pappin's, one of those old restaurants you don't see around anymore. They had some sort of promotion with the storybooks that had the little tape that came with it, the cassette tape.
Oh, yeah.
And you would play the cassette tape along with the storybook. Well, the storybooks had full sound effects.
Okay.
And the thing that always got me was the giggling, the Gremlins giggling from because usually you don't, it's just coming from nowhere. It's just, and especially from the tape recorder, you have that going and there's this they have the creepy music and the creepy reader, and then you're hearing them giggle and they're broken English and stuff. And
they're broken
it's
English.
disturbing. And I just remember after I listened to them, it was okay, don't need them anymore. Don't want them. No. And I just remember anytime I had a nightmare,
the Gremlins were starring.
That's what it was. And it was usually not a weird nightmare, where I was at the circus on the moon. It was they were always I'm at my grandma's house, I'm at home, I'm in my bedroom, I'm at school, and it's always them.
They are terrifying. They're very gross looking.
There's that one moment when she walks, the first time you get a really good look at them, when she comes in the kitchen and it's eating the cookies. And she ducks back and its ear pricks up and it turns around, and when it looks back, its lip curls as it growls. Again, wonderful puppetry. But again, who said this is for kids? Those things are terrifying.
Yeah. There was nothing about this movie other than Gizmo that would have been kid friendly.
Yeah.
Yes. Was extremely disturbing.
How about that moment when they're in the bank and she's telling her story about her dad, and then she goes, "That's how I found out there was no Santa Claus."
Right.
I thought, wow, as if this didn't scar enough children. No, let's ruin childhood.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. And then there was also the first really dark line that Phoebe, if her character's name was Kate, I think.
Yeah.
When Billy is trying to... Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know what the story is, let's back it up a little bit. The Gremlins is about a young boy, I guess a young man. I'm assuming he's at least 20, 21.
Yeah, he's out of high school.
Okay, and his dad brings home a gift for him, which is a Mogwai, Gizmo. Nobody knows what a Mogwai actually is. He gives it to him. The Mogwai has 3 rules. Don't feed it after midnight, don't ever get it wet, and don't put it in sunlight, and they hate bright light. So these rules go out the window essentially. At some point, he accidentally gets the Mogwai wet and all hell breaks loose. So now, okay, what I was talking about was the line where Billy is he's asking Kate about why she doesn't like Christmas or something, or something about Christmas. And she talks about the suicide rate at Christmas is the highest at any point in time of year. Okay, I'm sure that's a valid statistic. Mm-hmm. But then she gets into when everybody else is opening up their presents, other people are opening up their wrists. Really, Kate?
Yeah.
That's what we're just going to go. Like, this is a kid's movie?
That's a cry for help there,
right?
Honey.
Exactly. I don't understand. How is this a kid's movie? Like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so what bothered me, the main thing about this entire thing, nobody questioned where that Mogwai came from. Nobody asked about the history. Nobody asked about, what is it? Is it an animal? Is it mystical? Is it like nothing? There was nothing about it.
Well, I was recently recently, it was probably like a year ago. I was at like a thrift store of some sort, and I'm poking through the books, and I found the novelization of Gremlins. And I thought, why not? So I bought, it was like 50 cents.
Right.
Well, it was based off of the original screenplay.
Uh-huh.
And as you come to learn if you read the book, they're from space. Yeah.
That sounds like a cheap way out.
Yeah.
Like space.
Now,
why were they in...
Yeah, I don't know. And I believe they explain how some other race like made them, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on any of this because it's been so long since I read it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Put the quotes away. I'll stop writing.
Yeah,
it's not on the record.
Off the record. I think someone made them to be like peacekeepers, because you know how like Gizmo like is really peaceful and passive, and he sings a lot and whatever, like the hippies of the universe. But I guess there was a flaw, and as we saw, that flaw is kind of not nice.
Well, yeah, and I know like Spike was the one who like got everybody else all riled up.
Yeah, but they were mean as Mogwai too. Like
like they started off
a loogie and breaking stuff and beating up the dog.
I thought it would have been interesting if they like each time he regenerated, like they each one a little more dopey or something,
like
or there was
multiplicity?
Like yeah, exactly. Like it'd be just a little more just off, or
man.
Because there was one, it was like nose was all runny all the time or something.
Yeah, well, that was Stripe. Remember, he blows his nose in the
that was when he cried about the rest of them.
Well, like before he breaks out of the house, like when Billy comes home and like, he cuts that one's head off. Yeah, Stripe is sneezing at the window. So like I don't know why he has a cold. I don't know if they had somewhere they wanted to go with that.
I think maybe he was crying, like sad. That was him being sad about his friend's
I don't know. I
death.
don't think he cared.
So
because he shot that one when they were playing cards. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
I don't think he cares.
Okay. So I do give major props for the mom taking out so many of them.
Like the one in the microwave?
Yes, the microwave was a great gremlin death. The blender was a really good one. What was she like? Did she decapitate one?
She put the one had his face in the blender or whatever she was making the cookies in. She stabbed one like over and over and over again. And then she put the one in the microwave.
There was one in the fire, too, or was that somebody else?
That was Billy cut his head off and his head landed in the fire.
Okay. But yeah,
rock on, Mom.
Yeah, because I appreciated that.
Hiding in the closet or something.
She took care of business. Like, she handled that shit hardcore.
It's the scariest scene in the movie, but also, like, the best.
I do really like the way that they revealed the Gremlins, finally.
That moment when she's like before you've seen them, which we've kind of lost in movies. Like we're all about like shoving it in your face as much as possible. Like when she's coming down the hallway and she peeks in the one room and you see its shadow on the wall. Yeah. That is like shivery. Yeah, it's just because you don't know how many there. Well, you do know how many there are, but like you don't know where they are.
Yeah, and you still really don't.
You don't know what they are.
Right.
Yet. Exactly. Like,
and like at this point we know that
something's amiss, but
that they killed the one guy killed the science teacher.
Yeah,
and that's like
that was just one by itself.
Yeah, one by itself. And when Billy came in there and when he was like reaching for the phone, the one reached up, I jumped. I jumped so
horrible. And then when he goes in the nurse's office to take care of it, and it's in the cupboard.
God, it's like seriously, those creatures give me chills.
See, thank you.
Another really dark thing about this was Mrs. Deagle. She was like a cross between Ebenezer Scrooge, Mrs. Hannigan, and
Mrs. Gulch from The Wizard of Oz.
Yes. And Cruella DeVille while we're at it.
Oh, yeah.
She was terrible. Like, she was just like the dog. I guess Billy's dog wrecked her fancy decorative lawn snowman. And she was pissed about it. She's just unhappy about life in general. Yeah. And with her horribly drawn on eyebrows, she
I forgot about those.
She rolls in and threatens Billy's dog and starts
gonna like skin him or boil him or
it's like hardcore. Like seriously, I'm pretty sure he could have gotten some sort of restraining order off that alone.
But she like owned the whole town or something.
So Mrs. Deagle, basically, I guess that was just a build-up just so we could be okay with her dying.
Killed, yeah.
That was quite a bit of a build-up just to be okay with one.
Now, I do have to point out, there's a YouTube channel like where they point movie sin counter.
I love that.
There's
Cinema
sins. Yeah, there's a video of the Gremlins, and definitely anyone who's seen it needs to check it out. But they talk about how they short out her little chair on the steps. Well, when she's going up it, she's like flying around and around and around and around and then whoosh out the window. But when the cops pull up, the house is just 2 stories.
Thank you, because I called that myself. I was like,
how tall is that?
Yeah,
house?
Exactly. Like, how long is this staircase?
It just goes around the whole perimeter, like it's like a ride.
Right, exactly. It's a spiral staircase around the entire house itself.
The house is a stairwell on the outside, and the house is on the inside. But yeah, I was so glad none of the cats got. Gremlins seem to be okay with cats.
Yeah,
which seems
that could have gone very.
Because cats and gremlins, I feel like
they have similar personalities.
That don't get them wet, and don't trust them with too much food, and they're gonna knock crap over. So
basically, and they're just there to ruin your life.
Oh my gosh,
they're there to take and take and take from you. They're not gonna give anything. They don't give back. Like dogs. And I felt like when Billy got Gizmo when he comes out of the box, and poor Barney the dog is just like watching there, and he's like kind of feeling a little shunned, but I think he just wanted to eat him. Because every time they showed Barney's reaction, he's drooling. Yum. Like his mouth is just soaking wet.
You're like, what's that marshmallow you got in that box?
And then finally by the end, with like the most epic gremlin death scene ever, when Barney sees like the melted gremlins, like,
he's like,
is it wrong that I still want to eat this?
Anybody got some pita chips? That looks delicious.
So this movie is just dark upon dark,
and only PG.
Dark. And my other problem with it is I think just destruction for the sake of destruction pisses me off. Like whether it be in movies or in life or whatever, and just the fact they're gremlins, that's their existence. That's what they do. And so I found myself getting like physically angry last night as I was watching. It's like they're just tearing shit up just to do it. I don't understand.
Well, see, I seem to recall reading about some interpretations, if you want to get deep with this movie, that it could be taken as anti-consumerist in consumerism. You know how like they're all like, especially when they're watching the Disney movie, because Disney's like way up there on the consumerism kind of business. They're like ripping through the food and they're making a mess and they're loud and obnoxious, and so they're kind of us. Commentary on us. Another interpretation I saw was that it's very sort of anti-immigration. If you remember, his neighbor was I only buy American,
the Harbinger,
and all that stuff. Well, if you start to look at them closer, I said about their broken English, that they speak sort of their language and English.
Right.
They talk about how Gremlins. He says, they put foreigners put Gremlins in their stuff, so I only buy American. So again, how deep
Interesting.
you want to get with this
Interesting.
movie.
I think, I'll take that.
Yeah. Or they could just be a commentary on children.
Yeah, that also, I did kind of see that because I felt like Gizmo was probably feeling like all the many other parents.
Yeah,
that
those
their
were
kids,
his kids.
Yeah, their kids have gone off and done terrible things with themselves. With their lives.
I remember when I used to watch it, and I think this is how I started to get into Mystery Science Theater. When a movie would scare me, I would try to come up with like some funny commentary to go with it, and I know I did that with this movie, and I used to like treat Gizmo like the little Jewish mother, like, oh, you kids never call me anymore. Why are you ripping things and
you're going around
people?
the town, you're terrorizing people.
Oh, you're embarrassing me. I didn't raise you to be this way. And you get your hair cut. You come inside, you already got a cold.
Gizmo,
voiced by oh no, what's his name? Bald man. Host of Deal or No Deal.
Howie Mandel.
Yes, that was.
Is
Howie
it
Mandel?
Howie Mandel? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I found myself being torn from thinking that Gizmo is super cute and being annoyed by his princess demands. Like, oh my God, turn off the light. Jeez.
Yeah,
I don't understand. I was like, oh, it's too much.
So yeah.
So I don't know. It's just, I guess I just never fully got into this movie, and I'm pretty sure it has a lot to do with just the Gremlins themselves. Okay, another point. How do they just innately know like how things work and how things are? Like the bar scene, they just know how to play poker.
Yeah.
The one guy knows that it's going to be offensive to be like a streaker or whatever, a flasher.
Yeah.
I don't. They know how to like
probably because if you recall at the end when the Chinese man comes back and takes him, he says, "Oh, you let him watch television." And I wonder if that's, again, maybe like about kids. Like, what
just
is
mimicking
television?
behavior.
Yeah. And that's probably what it is, because gremlins don't have any genitalia. That's not how they reproduce. So, like, for him to, like, open his coat,
right.
Like, I'm flashing you, like, he probably learned that from TV. You know?
That's where they
And
learn
then,
it.
if you remember, when they're playing cards, there's one, like, Stripes got a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Why does he need a girlfriend? Like, he probably was, if you remember, I think Gizmo was watching like a James Cagney movie or something. Like, that's probably where they got that. They probably had no idea what they were doing.
Yeah.
Stripe was probably just like, I need another thing that looks like me.
Dress up like a girl.
Yeah, dress fancy and you go everywhere with me. Like, they don't know what beyond that. That's how kids do it, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I need to have a girlfriend. I don't know why, but
yeah, we need to have one.
Yeah,
there was also a flash dance one. A flash dance gremlin.
Which is just fantastic. Which is the 80s, so that was probably on TV
everywhere.
And yeah, they were probably like, let's dance like that. They were playing video games. Like, it's probably definitely a commentary on youth.
It's got to be, because that scene went on way too long for it to not be anything about it.
Yeah.
Another thing about that scene, why was she serving them?
Probably because it was keeping them happy.
No,
because once
I don't understand why she just didn't leave and burn the place down.
Right.
Like, I mean,
they
this had to
followed her.
This had to have been her first encounter with them, because I don't even think at this point she's seen Gizmo.
Yeah.
So she didn't know anything about it. They just all roll in.
Could you imagine though? Like, you're there alone, and then all of a sudden they start swarming in, and it's like, okay. And then she probably thought, maybe they have money. Who knows? You know, like, you don't want to lose your job, and maybe they tip well. They don't understand how money works, so you never know.
They don't have any. Not one of them had any sort of currency.
If you liked that scene for its silly aspects, you must watch the second Gremlins movie.
And I know I've seen the second one.
It is actually
Isn't it
really
all that
funny? Yeah, it's all just. And one of my favorite scenes is when Phoebe's character Kate, she got like they're in the middle of like all hell has broken loose. It's really terrible, and she starts on another story, and she's like, let me tell you about why I hate President's Day.
Oh my God.
And he like interrupts her halfway through, like, we don't really have time for this right now, like, this isn't the time or place. And it's a really funny movie, so that's definitely worth a look if you felt the first one was too scary, of course. And the second one had It felt more like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Than
So it was a little lighter than the other one.
It was much lighter.
So like, and that was also kind of what he was doing when she told her Santa story in the bank, because he
Yeah,
wasn't paying
sort of
attention to her then. He was
I'm trying to check that they're not still in here, like trying to kill us. But you keep going.
Good story.
Yeah. What were we talking about? What about your dad? I've never met your dad. Is he nice? Probably why they never. Or did they get married? I don't remember.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. They were probably married in the second one.
So, yeah, and this was like full of tropes, and like I said, Judge Reinhold shows up, Glenn Thurman, and there's also, I don't know if you watch Breaking Bad.
No.
Okay, so for those Breaking Bad fans, Mike from Breaking Bad is the drunken, unhelpful cop. One of the drunken, unhelpful cops. So, and there's like, that trope.
Whose fate we're not really sure of. A lot of people, it's like you're not really sure if they
died
from their interactions.
I just remember him like being the smartest one when they were in the police car, and he's like, "Start the car, start the car, Dad. Let's go." I'd like to go back to the station.
They're like ripping that Santa guy apart. He's like, "What's he got all over him?"
It's like the Gremlins, dude. I don't understand.
Yeah, that was pretty scary.
So, my God, this movie. So the big takeaway, and like you said, with like the just some deeper meanings, the old Asian guy, when he comes back, he says, "You've done with Mogwai what your society has done with all of nature's gifts. You're not ready."
Oh yeah.
Boom, and then he drops the mic and pieces out.
Yeah.
I'm
taking my Furby and leaving. Which, by the way, my parents bought me a Furby, because everybody's parents were like, I must get a Furby for my child because it was some sort of conspiracy that we all needed to have one.
Like Cabbage Patch Kids.
Well, those things are so much like Gizmo that I kept mine in a drawer in another room because it would wake up randomly and it talks sort of like them. Like it sounds English-y, if I recall, but Furbies didn't really
I never had one.
Speak like English, and they would just kind of randomly be like, like, okay, you're going, I'm done. I should have just taken a rubber mallet to it, but
oh my God, that's
was
awful.
so proud she got me one. I'm like, why?
That's not okay.
You know how I feel about things that look just like them.
No, she just thought that you were like every other kid, and you need one. You have to have it.
No.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with some more thoughts on Gremlins. So, Rugged Angel Productions has made some internet friends over at inherglam.com. This is a great website with blog posts and YouTube videos on beauty, fashion, fitness, TV, and food. They also have podcasts on Arrow, Revenge, Hit the Floor, and Scandal. And while you're there, you can go ahead and make sure to check out the Glam Chick shop for female empowering swag. Now swing on over to inherglam.com and show the ladies some love. That's inherglam.com, inherglam.com. Your one-stop site for all things fashion, glam, and life related. We're back. And while we were away, Roy has come up with some thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
About the reboot.
So many thoughts.
Gremlins reboot.
See, now, I was I'd been discussing this previously, but I have to wonder, will they go the dark comedy route, or will they, the way we seem to do things anymore is we have to go bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this is just going to be even more horrifying than before.
I can only imagine, like, especially with, and are we going to go straight up CGI?
That was my other point.
Or
I think what made the movie so scary is that they were in the room. Like, that wasn't...
Yeah.
I feel like that always makes things so much scarier.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's why the velociraptors and a lot of the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park were so... Whether you were scared of them or amazed by them or why they were so effective is because half the time there was something in that scene. I mean, you can tell most of the time when it's something that's CGI and when it's something that's actually physically there.
Right.
And the fact that those puppets in Gremlins were right there interacting with these people, it makes it so much realer and that much more disturbing.
Yeah, they were. I don't. What if what is his name? Guillermo
Oh, good lord.
Del Toro.
Yeah, if
gets
he gets a hold of this, I'm done. That's it. I won't live. I won't live past it because even the trailer would not would not
That
bode
is
well.
like some serious, like, because Guillermo was just like the master of nightmarish imagery, and I couldn't even imagine trying to sit through a Gremlins movie.
Made by him.
Nah.
I feel like he would like have them shipped into the theaters where it's being shown. And they'd like drop from the ceiling or something, or they'd be waiting in the bathroom.
All
or
the casualties.
yeah,
There's so many heart attacks.
yeah. I wouldn't even. I couldn't even stand the poster for it. I imagine.
Yeah. So basically, this is going to be some really creeptastic business.
Unless they go like a Ghostbusters route and try to make it fun,
But even
like a nostalgic poke at it.
But even like the original Ghostbusters, I didn't think it was
creepy. Yeah,
really. You found it creepy?
Those gatekeeper creatures. Those were
The hounds of those.
Yeah, those hounds were.
Yeah, they were
They
pretty.
were a little scary.
Yeah, but again, because those guys were definitely like CGI or
Well, part
there
of
was
the time,
something. Yeah.
when they were like running,
Mm,
and you could kind of tell.
yeah.
80s special effects, you could always there was like a haze over them.
Yeah.
Whenever it was, because it was stop motion, like
Right.
Harryhausen style stop motion. But when they were, what was it? When they were in the fridge.
Yeah.
Those hands, when the hands come out of the chair and grab Sigourney
Yeah.
Weaver, that's
Yeah, I could.
that
Yeah.
was a little creepy.
Ghostbusters was creepy,
Now
Ish.
it kind of made up for it,
but there was a
when-
lot more.
Yeah, there was a lot more
comedy.
humor than, and I kind of appreciate that. Like, if you want the audience to take your threat seriously, like it needs to be a little scary. Like even that chick who comes, what's oh gosh, what was the big bad at the end? Remember, she's got like the short cut, and she's like, "Are you a god?" What the heck what was her
Sigourney
name?
Weaver?
No,
Is this the first one
at
or
the
the
end of
second one?
Ghostbusters. Yeah, what was Zool?
Oh,
Yeah,
Zool.
remember? Like
There is
she
no
was pretty
Zool.
scary looking. I mean, she looked kind of like she should be like
Yeah.
performing at like a roller rink, like yeah, like or like an ice dancer,
Okay.
some sort of 80s style performance. I mean, she was all like bedazzled and like yeah, she
I
was
don't
like
remember.
you'd need to like at least just Google it because
Right.
she looks fab, but her like makeup and stuff, like she's got like the creepy eyes and the I think the voice definitely helps, but
Yeah.
you
But
gotta
no,
have
they-
a little fear.
Yeah, no, they did do a really good job of there was a little fear, but then again, there was so much humor with the cast with Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd,
Harold
Harold Ramey,
Ramis?
Ra-
Ramis?
Remus,
Oh.
and
Oh my God! Everyone's gonna hate us for not
I
knowing how
know.
to pronounce his last name.
I'm really sorry, but
Sorry.
the black guy. I don't remember his name.
Ernie.
Ernie
Hudson.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ernie Hudson, who I met last year.
And you should be ashamed for not. knowing
Yeah,
his
I
name.
know. Yeah.
Well,
So
what else
anywho,
did you do?
so anywho's, yeah. So Gremlins the reboot. I'm scared.
We are not
I'm-
looking forward to.
No, not at all. And I don't know. It'll just depend upon what the trailer looks like. If
I don't know if I'll survive the trailer. I'll make sure if I'm going to see it, I have a room full of people and all the lights on, so that I can get through it. Because there is that morbid curiosity. I mean, that's why people still go and see horror movies. Like, it's that thrill that it scares you, but at the same time, you also understand that despite what my subconscious tells me, there is not a gremlin under my bed.
right, there's not an immediate threat right now.
Yeah, we have not crafted one yet. Now, Jurassic Park, on the other hand, maybe you should be scared because you never know when they're gonna.
It's gonna
Although
happen.
no, I did read recently that would not be possible apparently,
Why?
and I
Just
can't
our
remember why.
ecosystem?
It would not be. I guess there's not enough DNA to actually ever do that. I'd
Not
have to
enough
look it
DNA.
up
I guess
again.
they'd have to be like a really, because they're ginormous
it's-
creatures.
Yeah.
So it would need a law.
I'd have to look further into that. I know they said that it might be possible to do that with a mammoth.
Yes, check those findings out
Yeah.
and get back to me. I'm interested.
Mhm.
Interested to know.
Well,
more.
we have Jurassic World coming out in June, so
Oh,
We'll have to discuss that.
Yeah, sure. We could
Some
totally
point.
do that. And I will
Talk dinosaurs.
And I think before that I will watch all three of the
Oh,
first
yeah.
three and then go into
Oh my
it.
god, I've seen this movie so many times.
Really?
It's just because I was obsessed with dinosaurs as a kid. So.
Aw,
Yeah.
you're a little dino geek.
Oh my god, I used to make like my grandmother read my dinosaur books to me just so I could correct her pronunciation.
You are an asshole.
I know. And I was only like 5 or 6, so like.
No, Grandma.
I think part of it was like I wanted someone else to like what I liked.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So
Yeah,
it was
sure.
like,
That was
Grandma, read these. Although maybe it was like the
it was
beginning
just you wanted
of
to
my
pretentious.
yeah my love of editing and correcting people, my love of proofreading. Like, Grandma, that's procompsognathus.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ugh.
What a prick.
Ugh. I would have left you. Ugh.
Read your own book.
I'm not watching this kid anymore.
Yeah. Leave him at home. I want nothing to do with him.
So your overall review of Gremlins, your overall, I don't know. I haven't thought of a rating system yet. I guess 1 through 5?
1 through 5. I don't know. That's hard. Like,
because it's very difficult. Like, because there's different areas.
mm-hmm.
Like as far as impact on your psyche,
on my life,
right?
Yeah, it probably gets a 5. Yeah, really. Thank you. It's stuck with me definitely since 1984. It stuck with me before I was even born.
It was ingrained in your
yeah,
DNA.
I was just ready to be frightened by it. I guess from a movie perspective, it was a good movie. Would you agree with me on that?
No, I agree. I mean, there was my only like as far as cinematic standards, my only problem was the length of that bar scene.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it went on too long.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like there were a lot of plot holes in the script.
No. Although that midnight thing, like, okay, well, when can they start eating again? Because like, isn't all
true.
The time after midnight?
That's true.
Like,
and are we going like Eastern?
Well,
time
they poke fun at that in the second movie. They're like, well, what if he's on a plane and they go over the international date line and he has a piece of food stuck in his teeth and it comes out and he swallows it? Is that considered eating? So maybe they'll do away with that in the.
I would like to think somebody's going to do a little more research and we can get like a serious.
Yeah, is there a biological reason they can't eat after?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So for those questions, I will drop it. It will definitely be like a 3.5.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As far as then again, this was 84.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess 4 considering
how popular it still is, and
and like and plus just like the puppetry and
the puppetry definitely gets some big points.
Yeah. So I would say it's a solid 4.
I would agree with a 4.
I'll never watch it again.
We'll have to make a night of the second one.
Really?
It is fun. It's not. It is. I can watch it without any problems because they make the Gremlins really
sticky.
Goofy. Like there's one that's like he might as well be in a Looney Tunes episode. Like he's got the big googly eyes and
I remember that one.
Yeah. There's really nothing.
Do you recall like how they even came back about? Did they get Gizmo wet again or?
Gizmo, the old Chinese man died, and they were like, bulldozing his store, and Gizmo ran away, and happened to find Billy. I can't remember how. It's been a while since I've seen it, but ended up with Billy and Kate again, and
wow.
The movie takes place in that like big smart building. It's like the building of the future. And so like it's all automated and stuff, which for Gremlins who like know how to work things, know how to screw things up, it's perfect for them.
And that's where it just all goes amok.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
So, and this might be a little more difficult because I didn't even start this process. We play a little game called 6 Degrees of James Franco.
Oh, man.
Welcome to America's favorite pop culture game, the best game since Kevin Bacon. You're listening to another version of 6 Degrees of James Franco.
Try.
And it's not, it's not all on you. I will be assisting you. I'm not sure if this is going to be able to be done or very easily. I think that we are going to pick, because I don't know if this Zach Galligan dude has been in anything else really.
No, I think I just read about him recently that was like the only thing he did, and it's a shame I can't retain this stuff. I think I was looking for details about Gremlins, and it was just that he never did anything else.
And I saw him when I was at Shock Pop Con in Florida back in February.
Words is hard.
Words are hard. And yeah, and I just felt kind of sad for him. He was just kind of sitting there.
Like he's like, "Do you remember me? You've seen that movie, right?"
Yeah. And I found out after I IMDb'd him this week that it was his birthday weekend as well, that we were there. I was like,
oh dear.
I wish I'd known that. I would have gone and said, hey, or something. And I just like walked past him like,
buy you a yogurt?
Can I get you a cronut?
Happy
birthday.
Birthday cronut.
Great in Gremlins. Okay, so I think our best bet would be to go with Glenn Thurman.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start with him and try to connect him to James
and which
Franco.
one was that? Was that
He was the scientist.
Oh, his dad? Or no,
or the science teacher.
The teacher.
Not scientist.
Oh, damn.
So let me get some paper. Feel free to work on your own sheet if you'd like.
Oh, this is tough.
I know it's very difficult, like especially with something like this. This is going to be very challenging, and this is probably the most challenging one that I've done. Although I have managed to connect James Franco to KRS-One in like 3 moves or something. So
Man.
So I can give you some movies that Glenn Thurman has been in. May be helpful. He was in Super 8, another Spielberg film. John Dies at the End. Have you seen John Dies at the End?
No. It's always on Netflix.
Yeah,
and I'm
it's
always
weird.
like, look at that.
He was in Burlesque. Glenn Thurman?
Really?
Yeah. I wonder if that... We'll get this because Burlesque. That was Christina.
Yeah, like the new Burlesque?
Cher and Stanley Tucci.
Stanley Tucci's in everything.
Right? So let's try Tucci. It's like Glenn.
I feel like Stanley Tucci had to be in something with James Franco.
Right. Stanley Tucci and Glenn Thurman.
Stanley
Let's see.
Tucci.
Tucci was in the Hunger Games. All of the Hunger Game movies.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he in Devil Wears Prada?
He was, yeah.
Margin Call. Ooh. It was Margin Call with Zachary Quinto. Yep. I think we got it. I think I got it. Doing my got it dance. Stanley Tucci was in Margin Call with Zachary Quinto.
Uh-huh.
And Quinto is in a new movie, and I forget the name of it.
Oh,
with Franco.
Yeah, where he plays that. Oh shoot, was it like
he's like a
pastor or something, or was he?
I have to look up.
He was in the closet and then came out, or vice versa.
Shoot, what is it? I Am Michael.
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of the movie. They're in together.
How about
a gay activist and magazine founder is saved from his homosexuality after turning to God. All right, so there it is. Look at that. Glenn Thurman in Gremlins, to Stanley Tucci in Burlesque, to Zachary Quinto in
I Am Michael.
No. What was the Stanley Tucci? Oh, Margin Call.
Okay.
To James Franco and I Am Michael.
How about that?
Yay. I thought that would be much harder. I guess also if I was going from Zach Galligan or whatever. Zach Galligan.
Really.
That would have never...
That's a pretty short road.
Margin Call, that's it. All right. Nice. I'm still trying to figure out where Glenn Thurman fit in Burlesque. So I just don't...
Yeah. Maybe he was like a patron.
Maybe something like that. What's that?
Oh. Well, we could have gone from Phoebe Cates
Oh, okay.
She was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High with Sean Penn, who was in Milk with James Franco.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even better.
So that's only, 3?
Yeah.
Boom.
Nice. Excellent. Well done. That's what I like. I like a challenge.
Although she was, I feel like she's probably the easiest in that whole movie. I feel like she did a lot more, at least in the 80s.
Yeah, she was definitely around a lot in the 80s.
She kind of disappeared after that. Not that kind of easy. I should clarify. I am not implying that Phoebe is easy.
You should probably do that because there's going to be
someone's already writing a negative.
Whoever, yeah, exactly. Whoever has the fuck yeah, Phoebe Cates Tumblr.
Yeah. This game is easier with Phoebe because she is so popular.
In the 80s.
In the 80s. Let's not kid ourselves.
Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah.
Well, damn. I think we might have come to the end of.
Aww.
I want to do this again.
Yeah. Well, we do need to discuss in the future diversity.
Yes.
Issues,
so we'll have to pick a movie.
Nerdy diversity issues.
Yeah. Pick a movie that kind of helps to. What?
Oh, we could discuss
X-Men?
some of the X-Men films.
Please.
Yeah.
Because I love the X-Men films.
We'll have to talk about it. I'll figure out one of them to watch.
Because I absolutely, I really like the other one, the first one, and I feel like Storm, meh. But
sadly, yeah.
But I'm super into Ian McKellen as Magneto, and then Professor X.
Oh,
Patrick Stewart, just amazing. But then when they introduced the young versions of them, you got Michael Fassbender.
I was just gonna say that. Yes. Oh my God. He is straight from Mount Olympus.
It's wonderful. So yes, we will get into some X-Men the next time you and I get together, and I'm super stoked about that.
Yes.
So please, those of you out there, don't forget to subscribe to us, rate and review on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter, DTW Podcast. Like us on Facebook, Down to Watch Podcast. If you have some suggestions of some movies, TV shows, or some music that we should talk about, listen to, and watch, let me know. You can send me an email at downtowatchpodcast@gmail.com. And you can also just go to ruggedangel.com and fill out the little form there. So until next time, thank you once again, Roy. I've had super fun.
Oh, me too. Thanks for having me.
Ta-ta. This has been a Rugged Angel production.